Hi everyone. So I had to do all this work back to back because I'm going on a cruise for a week. My husband surprised me. So that's why I look the same in both videos. We were at the beach all day. Hi. This week, the reading, chapter 10 through, 13 and 14, really resonated with me. About scheduling and auditioning and casting and all those things. And I think casting is probably the worst thing that can happen. I don't know if it's the same for everyone. I really have always tried to cast kids that, let's backtrack. Auditioning. Auditioning is a process for me that the kids hate, but I love. And they say I have an eyebrow that I always look up when I'm looking at them. But the casting process for me is really important. And I really go through and I take some time and I really explain and I'm very intentional about it. And I give them all the notes and all the prep information ahead of time. I let them pick their own songs. But I do a whole unit on what songs to pick for what show, which is important. And then they come in one at a time. There's no audience. It's just me, my musical director, and my choreographer. And we sit and they audition. They slate. They do the whole thing. The most important part is the callback list. Because I don't always cast the most talented kid. I don't. Sometimes I think of the show as a whole. And it was great to see that written in the book because it was just emphasized what I already know and what was great and what works for me, because I question myself all the time. Am I doing the right thing? As an educator, we want to see these kids grow and develop and become better human beings, not just actors. All of that goes together. And I think it's really important that that in the audition process that students learn that, well, they all believe they're the best one. And sometimes I call kids back that maybe didn't need to be called back, but I call them back because it's good for them to see why the person that got the part. And if they don't see it after watching the audition or sitting in that audition process and watching all these kids sing their hearts out and sing with each other and dance and do all the things, then sometimes, if they're still complaining about not getting the part they want, or their parents do, sometimes that's worse, then I have a different conversation with them. And we talk about what we can do to be better. How do we approach that? Like, if you really think you're treated unfairly, how do we approach that? That kind of stuff. But I think it's really important that kids are involved in the whole process and understand the whole process. But like I said, for casting, I don't always cast the kid that's the best. Yes, they have talent. Of course they have talent. But are they maybe not as talented as two other singers that auditioned with them? And everybody gets a good part if they've been called back, usually. However, sometimes a kid needs it more than another one. And if they are moldable and they are teachable and they are kids that can grow from the process, that's the one I cast. And I also cast on chemistry, right? We all do, I think, I hope. If two kids aren't going to play well together, then I'm not going to cast them together. So it just reminded me in the reading, that my process is okay and that it's working. So why change? The other thing was, though, backtracking, I guess, the prompt book. The prompt book, I am not as detailed as I could be or should be, because I have a small team. I just have me and my choreographer and my musical director, and the set design, the set building, all that is me. So I tend to get in a mode where I'm just like, go for it. We're on a time crunch. Let's just make it happen. I need to plan better. I need to do more. I need to create a full book. And so this was great for me, this prompt book thing. So planning rehearsals. Let's talk about that. Planning rehearsals is the other worst thing of a production, because I have cheerleaders, I have football players, I have basketball players, I have all the sports kids, I have AP students, and I mean, these are all high achieving, ultra performing, like push to their limit kids. And my school promotes that you can do it all, which, let's be realistic, you cannot play football and be in a Broadway show. So it's really hard to make a schedule that works for everyone, because my leads often are the kids that do all the things and they need time. Part of that, I have a big conversation with their parents and I tell them, listen, this is how it's going to be. But yeah, it's pretty brutal, because I end up changing it sometimes and my parents get mad. I do plan it the way it said, from backward design, but it doesn't always work out like the plan. I usually try to do musical theater or musical direction first, learn all the songs, then we go through and learn the dances, and I'm blocking in the process. So I am able to double or triple schedule a rehearsal at night. So there's 3 of us, so it's great. For straight plays, it's just me and my assistant director, and those are so much more contained and less chaotic than a musical rehearsal. And yeah, and as long as the kids, if they would just learn their lines, that'd be cool, because they don't always learn their lines in time. Last show, I had kids at the last week learning their lines. So, life gets in the way for us, and it gets in the way for them too. And it's all an educational process. And if they want to go on in life, I teach them that doesn't work. You show up prepared. But I guess I have to be more prepared too, and try and figure out a way to make scheduling easier. So, all right, there you go. Thanks.